Guys, Joe DeMarco from the Crazy New York Driver Show. Today is Friday, May the 10th, 2024. Welcome to another eBay video. I was hoping to film at least part of the video outside today, but as you can see that's not going to happen because it's raining. I have never in my life had such a miserable spring as this one. It is cloudy and rainy every day, and if you can see clearly, I'm dressed in a freaking winter coat. A winter coat. Let me show you how high the grass is. I don't want to get this thing wet, so I'm being very careful. See? Sorry about shaking the camera, but I just wanted you to see how cloudy, rainy, and nasty it is. And I can give you a temperature reading if you just hold on a second. The temperature right now, 49 degrees. We cannot catch a break. I'm not going to stand here for the whole video because I'm still getting wet. I just wanted you to see this. Before we go any further, I think I better, settle down inside and let's get the show on the road. All right, now this is a lot better. Dry like a regular normal person. Not all cloudy, cold, and rainy out there. Yikes. Today's topics, we're going to actually piggyback on last week's video because I want to expound a little bit more about eBay's new cancellation process because that really spurred a lot of comments from you guys, and I'm glad you commented as you did. I also want to give you a few updates about a return and about defect removal and some other cool stuff, so let's get right into it. First, we'll start with updates. You remember last week I told you this story about a customer who was spending a total of $80 in shipping to get back $30. The shipping was $40 each way. Just to get back $30, do you know he shipped them back to me? This is the kind of mentality in eBay Motors. They will spend $80 to get back $30. I swear to Christ, I would never invest $1 with these people if they were portfolio managers. It almost defies belief. In my 25 years on eBay, while I've had many cases like this, this is the absolutely most egregious. I don't think any one of you can beat this, but if you can, please comment below. I would love to read your story. Another update about a defect. Over the last few weeks, I received one defect because the post office mishandled a return. It didn't get to me on time, so I had to call concierge. They gave me a 10-day extension, which was great, but when they do that, it automatically opens a case. And eBay has to close the case, and it counts as a defect for all sellers, not just Cute Joey, all sellers, because it counts as an item being closed without seller resolution, which is a major fallacy. So I had called up a few weeks ago. The lady said she had put in for defect removal. It was never removed. There was one of you guys who actually predicted this a few weeks ago. You said I'd have to keep calling back. You were 100% right. I had to call back several times, but finally it's removed. And not only did they remove it, but the eBay representative I spoke to actually called me back to tell me it was removed. So yeah, that's good news. One more thing that passes for good news, at least for Cute Joey. Maybe you guys will agree with this or not. This week coming up, there are two big eBay events right here in New York City that I'll be attending. And I will be speaking face-to-face with the eBay executives who count. I'm going there not as an adversary, but as a friend. But I am going to make several suggestions to them regarding eBay policies. One of them, number one, is going to be the fact that eBay refuses to remove unfair negative feedback. except in the most egregious cases. I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be talking about some other things as well. And if you guys have any comments you would like me to make on your behalf or the behalf of a seller, comment them below. Remember, I'm not going to have their ear for 3 hours. I'm lucky to have a one-on-one for 15 minutes, so I only can address certain issues. I will be reporting back next week and let you know how everything went. As I said, there are 2 events. One is a seller meetup with the eBay executives, sellers from the Northeast, from this area. The second one is going to be an eBay dinner, a very special invite-only dinner for some top-rated sellers like Cute Joey, who will be sitting down to dine with the eBay executives, and hopefully I can express our feelings on certain issues. Respectfully, of course. I'm not an adversary, I'm a friend, just like I'm a friend to all you guys. So yeah, that being said, I want to talk now about the new cancellation policy that eBay had apparently enacted but never announced. That was the most popular topic on last week's video, and I thank everybody who contributed. It seems to me, and rightly so, that most of you guys do not like this new policy, and I don't either. I haven't seen it firsthand. I've had several people who did. They wrote in and they expressed their sentiments, and that's fine. eBay should never, ever show our competitors' items cheaper than ours once we consummate a sale. I feel that violates breach of trust. And the fact that they're doing it and now implementing this new cancellation policy is wacky. One thing I didn't make clear, was maybe it wasn't made too clear to me, was that for those few who have received it, let's just say for argument's sake you make a sale. The sale is $40 plus shipping. The buyer pays you. He clicks buy it now, he's happy. Now eBay plays dirty pool and they show your competition's items cheaper. Let's just say your competition has one for $30. Your buyer sees that and he wants to cancel and he selects found a better price. All right? Now, because he clicked found a better price, it goes back to you. All right? And the buyer can make you an offer on your item that he just actually paid for. So if he sees one for $30, that doesn't mean he's going to offer you $30. He may offer you $20 or $10. You, of course, have the option to accept or decline it, and it will go through the system as such. But I don't know why they didn't announce this. Perhaps it was just a test program to a limited number of accounts. But from anything I'm seeing, the sellers absolutely hate it. And I would hate it too. Whatever happened to a binding contract on eBay? Remember when you used to win an auction or click a buy it now or make an offer, it would say you're entering into a binding contract. I guess that verbiage was taken out because, it's just over. It's different than it used to be, and not in a good way. Continuing on cancellations, I want to explain something that some of you guys don't know. Most of you do, but some of you don't. Cancellations can happen in 2 ways. The more common way is what I just described. The buyer pays for your item, eBay plays dirty pool, and shows your competition's item cheaper. Now, let's forget about the new cancellation program that I just talked about. Let's just talk about this one particular incident. Let's say the buyer clicks whatever reason he wants to click. He's canceling, that's it, okay? You, of course, have the option to accept or decline the cancellation. If I haven't printed the shipping label, I always accept the cancellation. If I have printed it, that means I've done work. and I'm not going to accept. Usually I wait several hours before I print any shipping labels anyway. So if somebody wants to cancel within the first hour, I'm not going to get all upset about that. But if somebody wants to cancel, 6 hours later, then we're going to have a bit of an issue. We're going to have an issue. I had one the other day that kind of irritated me. What happened is a buyer sent me a best offer, reasonable offer, of $95 on an item that was $115. And he wrote in the comment section something like, I would really like to have these hubs for my classic car. Very fine, very respectable. No problem, right? Okay, so what I did was I accepted the offer. Now it so happens when I accepted the offer, I was on the app. I wasn't even around, I was doing errands. I accepted it. He paid right away, no problem. So let's say it's 10 o'clock in the morning. By the time I got back, several hours had elapsed. And I did a few things, then I processed his order, and I had to actually make a Frankenbox. I had to put two boxes together because it was a pretty big item, and did all that, put them in the car, got everything ready to go. And I said, I should go to the UPS store right now with this. I said, I got a hunch. I said, let me wait because I bet some other sales will come in. So I waited a couple of more hours and a couple of sales did come in. I swear to Christ on the cross in Brooklyn, I'm just getting ready to go to my car when the dancing starts. Oh, don't ship to that address. I'm not there anymore. Change it to my new address, 123 Main Street. Any of you guys know that once the label is printed, you cannot change the address per se. You can cancel the sale, all right? Now, and this put me into a bad situation because although I never agree to a cancellation once the label is printed, if his address is bad, this could really come back to bite me with the shipping fees, right? So I did what I had to do. I said, fine. I said, I'm going to cancel, but you're responsible for having a valid address on file with eBay at all times. And the fact that you waited 5 hours is unacceptable. I said, I did a lot of work shipping this item, preparing it, boxing it, putting it in the car. I said, it's a freak of nature that I did not ship it yet. I said, please do not buy these from me again. And I blocked him. And of course, he didn't buy them from me. And that was that. I did what I had to do. I feel he was being very inconsiderate, waiting 5 hours to tell me that. I don't know what happened that it took him 5 hours to say, I put the wrong address in. Always have your correct address on file. That being said, let me now talk about another type of cancellations that most of you guys probably don't run into. This would only happen if you're using auction format or if you're using SIO, seller initiated offers, meaning you send out an offer on the blind to buyers, the buyer accepts the offer, and then never pays. Now that's what I'm talking about. They haven't paid you. Now there are two types of those. You got the ghosts or the magicians who just disappear and ghost you, and you file the unpaid item case and no big deal. I showed you a couple of cases last week of those, and they don't bother me. They don't bother me. What does bother me are the dancers. The ones that come out with all the excuses and lie and string you along. I had one the other day, and this is something you guys need to understand. I sent out offers, and I told you the story about the seller who said, oh, cancel my order. I thought I was actually getting an offer to buy my item. I don't find that acceptable. And I will not cancel, and I did not cancel, and they got an unpaid item strike, okay? Now, a few of you wrote in and said, Joe, I got to be honest, I've gotten a few of those messages, and they're very, very confusing to me. What I would like any of you to do, if you get any of these messages that you feel are confusing regarding the fact that you received an offer to buy an item from another seller, please take a screenshot and email it to me at crazynydriver@aol.com. And if you do, I will be glad to screenshot it and put it on a future video and give you credit. The reason I'm saying this is I received many of these offers, many of them. And to me, it's dead dog obvious that I am being sent an offer from another seller. There's no confusion whatsoever. In the incident last week, the buyer even said, hey, I'm only half awake. But she was half awake enough to think that she was making $20 freaking and she was going to grab that until she found out she had to actually spend $20. She would not spend it. Well, she got herself an unpaid item straight for that. And I'll be honest with you, I've never made a mistake like that. But if I ever did, like I've always said, I would go ahead and pay. Because the mistake would be mine. I would man up, pay, and just resell the item. Because that's how I roll. Now, I had another incident that I knew was going to be trouble right away, involving some Nissans. I sent out offers, as I told you, last Friday night. And on Saturday morning, now first I had this crazy nut job at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I knew she was going to be trouble because no one buys from me in the morning, period. 2 hours later, at 10 o'clock, I get a ka-ching. Another one of these offers was accepted. But guess what? Instead of clicking Pay Now, this crackpot navigates away from the pay screen and goes to send seller a message and says, Joe, I'm at work right now. I will be home from work at 12 noon and I will pay you then. Okay? I knew right then and there I'd never see $1 from this guy, and I never did. He didn't pay at 12 noon. He didn't pay the next day, the day after, or the day after that. Why? Because there's no need for him to string me along like that. All he had to do was click Pay Now. It's so freaking easy. But eBay shows no intention of upgrading seller-initiated offers to require immediate payment like they said they would do last year. It amazes me why they will not act on that when they promised, but instead are acting on other things that are much less important and not even announcing it, just enacting it. Crazy, but true. Sales this week were pretty decent. I'm not saying they were booming, but they were pretty decent, so I'm really not going to complain about that. And I guess that basically is all I have to say this week. I'd like to remind you guys that I'm Crazy New York Driver and you're not. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you found it informative and entertaining as well. Please comment any concerns you have, including any of the new eBay policies, including the new cancellation system that I haven't yet seen myself, but some of you poor unfortunate people have. And if you have any comments, any suggestions you'd like me to take with me next week, I'll be more than happy to do it. And I will, in fact, be making a video talking about my experiences next week. Thank you for watching, guys. Rock on. Peace. And I hope you make a lot of money on eBay this week.